everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today I have a totally over-the-top crazy cake for you. The other day I showed you how to make homemade cannolis. I couldn't stop there, so I have a cake that is covered in homemade cannolis and it's filled with homemade cannoli filling. It is so delicious. If you have any Italians in your family or your friend group, they are going to die for this cake. I can't wait to show you the tutorial, so let's get started. To make the cake, we're going to need 2 layers of chocolate cake. We're going to need chocolate ganache. We're also going to be using this delicious cannoli filling and some cannoli shells. Now the recipe for those 4 items is in the description box. We're going to need some chocolate chips, and we're also going to need some vanilla buttercream, and that recipe is also below. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill our cake. Now each of my cake layers I've sliced in half, so I'm just going to use my cake lifter here to remove this one here. So I just use a sharp serrated knife to do that. Now what I have to do with my buttercream is I need to create what's called a dam. And the dam is going to stop the filling from leaking out. So I'm just going around like that. So it's kind of like a little blockage there. And then I'm taking about half a cup of the cannoli filling, putting it in the middle like this, and then just spread it out in the center here. You can put more in, but if you kind of put too much, then you're going to risk leaking everything out even despite the dam there. So now I'm going to put my layer back on like this and do another layer or another dam here. So I'm just kind of, it's about 1 inch or half an inch in size, 1 centimeter, and kind of just in from the actual outside edge of the cake. And another half here. And I'm just going to repeat this 2 more times, or sorry, 1 more time, because we've got the other layer divided, but we wouldn't put one on top again either. So our last layer that we're going to dam is this one here. And while you're doing this, you just want to make sure that you're keeping your cake even and straight up and down, so you don't have any awkward tilt to your cake. And this is our last one here, like this. Smooth it out. Look at all those delicious chocolate chips in there. Be a nice little crunch as well to the cake. So this filling is made with ricotta and whipping cream, and it's got some sugar in there, and it is delicious. So our last layer here goes on like this. And then using up the rest of my buttercream, I'm going to cover the entire cake here. I'm going to do the sides, I'm going to do the top, use a spatula to do that. Then I'm going to pop it into the freezer for about 20 minutes to set it, because that filling inside is really soft. And when I start to do my next step, I don't want it to be like moving around or anything. So I'm going to do that, finish it up, and then show you the next step. Next step is to take our chocolate chips and just take a handful of them and press them up into your buttercream. Just kind of work it up. You're going to have some fall off. If you want to catch them, just put like a big cake plate underneath if you want to. So I'm just going to press them up here all the way around the cake. And if you want it to go right to the top, just take some more and then just kind of fill it in up there too. Like that. You make a big mess. But what's cool about this kind of thing is that you don't need to have neat buttercream underneath. Because you're just going to fill it up in here. You're just going to cover it. So who cares what the buttercream looks like underneath? And what we're also going to do here is we're pressing hard against the cake, which is why I wanted it to be set inside, because that filling is so, like, it's not strong at all. So I wanted to make sure that it was frozen to give us a little bit more ability to be able to press these chips in. Now, if your buttercream has crusted because it's been in the freezer, which it will do, just apply like a thin, fresh layer to the buttercream, and then you'll have the adherence of the chips to the buttercream on this step. Just going to finish this off, and we'll do the ganache next. What we're going to do next is pour our ganache on the top here. Look at that deliciousness. Oh my gosh, so good. And then using an offset spatula, I'm just going to work it around, getting it close to the edges. And I've got it cooled, and if it's too thick, it won't go over the edges. So you just want to kind of work it like that. And I don't want this to go very far today, Sometimes you want it to drip all the way down, but I don't really want it to go that far today. Just kind of want to give it the effect that it's going there, dripping over the side. So I'm just working it like that. So if your ganache is cooled too much, like if you've made it the day before, which you can do, or it's just been in the fridge, you can just pop it into the microwave for like 10 to 20 seconds, give it a stir, and it should be back to this like perfectly pourable little ganache type here. So I'm just going to finish this around the outside, and then we're moving on to the delicious cannoli. So I've got my ganache on and my chips on the side. Now I'm going to fill my cannoli. I've got my cannoli filling here in a piping bag. So I'm just going to pipe it in there and turn that around. So I'm going to try to get as many cannolis on the top of this cake as I can. Just going to set them on top. I've got some big ones and I've got some of these little mini ones as well. So just fill those up. The mini ones I thought would look the best, like kind of along the bottom here. And then I'm also going to put some of them up on the top because it'll kind of just be like a nice accompaniment to these big giant ones. When you go to slice your cake, you can serve it with like, you could take the cannolis off and then you could serve it with a cannoli, with a slice of cannoli cake. I think your guests would absolutely love that. So I'm just going to keep filling and topping our cake, and I will show you the finished cake shortly. So there you go, everybody, how to make this totally over-the-top amazing cannoli cake. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all of our newest videos, and you can also check out all of our social media sites, which are linked in the description box below. I will see you guys all again next time. Bye!